great, isn't it?
Told them that they keep it up and I'll hire a babysitter. They won't have any. And it's coming out of their accounts.
I cannot find it in the handbook, something recorded. Maybe you guys can tell me you got 2 minutes, you're not on yet, are you?
Oh, yeah,
You're
cause
live?
it's not.
Alright. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You guys looked over the minutes from last week?
I moved. Well, and I would second that with a correction,
Yes?
because it seems like there was one here that was extremely important, because it starts out, primer move, beer shank seconded, followed by primer move, beer shank seconded.
Same thing I
Good. What,
I got front page.
Yeah.
Front, Find it.
I think we can probably drop one of those.
Yep. Alright, got her marked too. Alright, all in favor of approving last week's minutes?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Is Kara coming in for number 8?
here's law enforcement contracts. She's got a board meeting at
They got
9
meetings
this morning,
sometime today.
9 o'clock this
Yeah,
morning.
usually.
Okay, we got,
Sorry, I just
So
went
I
down the
presume
line.
that's a no.
you got Luzerne?
Yeah, she didn't know how long it would last since this is her first by herself.
Yep.
She did come in yesterday and ask if she needed to be there,
Okay.
but she didn't know how that would work because it's her first meeting,
Okay,
so.
well, as long as we've got the information.
I have the applications and
Okay.
whatnot.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning. You have the application?
Everything's in order.
It's basically the same.
Well, I'd make a motion that we approve both the Luzerne and the City of Garrison law enforcement agreements. Contracts.
All in favor of approving the contract?
Aye.
Aye. Approve excess flood insurance renewal. Additional price.
This is all that they gave me, so.
When it says excess,
This is,
this is over and above our normal policy?
I think since the flood of 08, they had to have excess flood insurance. And I don't know if that was because of FEMA or, I'm not sure why. But this is just renewal, it doesn't have a price.
What's the renewal date? I'm a little hesitant, just signing over a blank check.
It's
Not
not
really
asking for
approving
money, though.
Oh,
And
it's
just
not?
continue on the same policy.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, there's no, it's not asking for money or anything
Alright.
like that.
No, just continue
It's
on.
just
just
a
a
plan.
continuation of the policy.
See, this is where we had the discussion before about dropping to zero.
How you doing, Mark?
You can come in and sit over here if you'd like.
Alrighty.
Nancy pulled a file and I read that, that's been a while, quite a while ago. And I don't even wanna quote a figure what that cost, it's very expensive.
Well, flood insurance.
Very expensive.
Yeah, that's why I
We start right at 9:50.
drug my feet about
And I'll
moving
tell
the weed commissioner in.
Give her the information.
But they do sound extremely,
Any issues with it.
well, number one, it's
And,
men, no
You just wanna
offense,
look
but
at
they
that.
can move things,
Yeah,
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 you know, lift things.
yeah.
And it
Yeah,
sounds like
yeah.
it's really portable.
Kind of put a hole
Yeah.
through it, cause,
Well,
do we didn't know whether you wanted the septic and stuff.
Flood insurance?
Good, then, no, you get all the
Excess flood
piping and
insurance
stuff
on that building.
Well, I don't know if it's just that building, this is overall.
The sheriff's stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, this,
Yeah, probably, I used to use that Scooby, but so.
Maybe we can just buy these.
We might have done.
The
That's
brown
what we had to
building-
do in '08.
well, I'm afraid the new stuff last time and a new building.
Right. That's what happened
That's
in
a lot of
08.
stuff.
Well,
10 to 15 foot
how
buffer.
often does this flood occur? I mean, if
But
we're
you see some
spending
of my
a
land.
boatload of money on this.
Forestry, but I don't think that would.
Well, it
the
happened
trees
in
are
08, it
shrubs
happened in
and
16,
It didn't.
Okay,
you know.
Where your building.
average it out, 7 years.
Um,
Can we buy new stuff?
And with this policy, not that.
You're
But
talking
this is
2
con-
acres.
this is
Like 2 acres.
building. I
You're
believe, isn't
talking
it?
content versus building.
Yeah, that's two different things.
And I don't think we can replace buildings every 7 years.
I don't think we want to. I don't want to. That's your decision.
This is part of the current policy, it's just an extension, I'd make a motion to approve it.
I'm not gonna, till we know what the cost is and everything. I'm not gonna
I
say.
think we've already
Yeah,
approved the
it's,
cost
yeah,
and the
it's a little
policy.
higher, it hasn't gone up, but I mean, it's been added. You wanna wait till we get the information from Nancy?
Or you can second it.
Well, like I said, I was one of them, I was pushing to get rid of this, but what changed my mind on it is because of the sheriff. The sheriff uses that long building.
Uses the building, and this also includes the garages that he's got, it includes the sheriff's office. It used to, it's not any longer, include the Sherman building. So, I mean, that's just that immediate area down there.
So that Sherman building, our costs went down because we don't insure that anymore?
Well, I don't know exactly, I don't know those numbers off the top of my head. This is just a continuation of the current policy, is to authorize the access that was required of us in '08, according to Gina.
The thing I don't,
I'm assuming, I'm not 100% on
the thing I don't like about this is they just assume it's gonna go on forever.
Well, as long as the river flows.
Yep.
It's fairly dry at the moment, but it was in '08 too. It was down quite a ways. So they had a big rain up north. So,
I need more information. That's the only reason.
There ain't no date on this, but can we, maybe table this till next week? I'm, like I said, I was like you, but now talking to Ron, seeing with my own eyes, we need to put insurance on it.
let's throw a second out, let's get it done.
All right, second it. All in favor of approving the excess flood insurance?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey,
And again, if it wasn't a rubber stamp, it'd be different. But we've been doing it obviously, as Gina said, since '08.
Almost positive.
I would like to know that we're not paying for the Sherman building. Our costs should have went down.
We no longer insure the Sherman building, okay? We no longer insure it, period. And that should also include flood insurance.
Should.
What do you want next? The next non,
How about Ed Bailey?
Bailey?
Yeah.
This is the audit agreement.
Yep.
We do that one also every year.
We're in the middle of that audit currently.
It'll be over with by the end of the month.
No, because it's for fiscal year 21, and fiscal year 21 isn't done until 30th, but then you have, accruals and, it's not cut and dry at all. It will go on until, we'll be still doing stuff in October.
Agreement on what they're gonna
Thank you.
Do they send people out?
A lot of it they can do via upload to their portal and that sort of thing.
Oh, thank you.
Last week they were supposed to come, I don't know, I was gone Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so I'm not sure how that was all.
Last year, COVID, they were off
Yeah.
premise, but
If you've met with them before, prior years, they usually meet with the chairman, they go over, they'll single us out every year to ask about fraudulence and that sort of thing. They do a very good job.
Morning, Sheriff.
Morning.
Good.
How many hours do they put in?
They're doing things that office started that way.
How are you?
Yeah.
Good, how are you?
They're really awesome. I've asked
Been a little warm
for
today?
them, they're very closely on
It's been
lots of different things. They are really, very, very helpful. They're one of those firms that you have no apprehension of contacting people questions. Very excited.
I would make a motion that we authorize the chairman to sign the audit agreement with IJ.
Second.
All in favor of approving the audit agreement tonight?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Mark.
I've given you a application copy, that's for a change in land use from Terrell and Rhonda Price. This is Terrell, right over here to my left. Terrell, our board of supervisors, Tracy Seaman, Gary Beershank, and Rick Brimmer, and our deputy auditor is,
Gina Edgewood.
sorry.
I got you.
I knew that was gonna happen sometime.
That's right.
It just did. Anyway. Within this application packet, you have a copy of the actual application. You have a copy of a little map here that shows exactly where this is and photographs of the property that we're looking at. We're section 2586-9 or Polk Township on the left side of 33rd Avenue Drive. Basically, right in this area right in here, just north of 54th Street Drive, about a mile, 54th Street Trail, excuse me, about a mile and a half, right in here, where that located. Carol and Rhonda currently have an existing home on this site. They did that with a land use change that was done back in 2006. The reason for this application is that they'd like to add a structure to the property that is going to serve for family gatherings and have living quarters within it. The building site, as you can see from the sketch, is a little bit east and south of the existing residence. The reason that this application came about is that Terrell had a septic contractor call our office, and I spoke with them, and they wanted to get a septic system in going for this particular building that, as you can see by the photographs there, he started to build it. In our conversation, in that conversation, I heard that they wanted a septic system. I called Terrell right away and visited with him, and we discussed this idea that they do want to have living quarters within, so family members or someone could have the opportunity to stay within that structure. I don't know that it's a permanent residence by any means, but the way we discussed it is that there could be family gatherings, they could do other things within this new building, but there could definitely be living quarters where someone could stay within it. And as a result of that conversation, I had told him that this constitutes a new non-agricultural use on this property because of the fact that it would be a second residence, if you will. He immediately put together the application, submitted it, and so we're here today looking at changing the use of 1 acre where that building is sitting. In the photographs, you can see, as I said, that it started. He stopped it right away so that we could go ahead and go through this particular process. The site is a total of 16.20 acres. That's what they own. 7.9 acres of it is exempt because the trees were preserved. 8.30 acres remain, and as they said, they'd like to change the use of 1 acre. This land is definitely not in production, hasn't been. There are numerous trees on the site, as I said. They're just adding a building to this. The soil there is a fine sandy loam, and the CSR is not really relevant due to the circumstances. If it were, it's a 70, but again, it's not marked ground, hasn't been, and there's a pretty good stand of trees on, plus it's an existing building site. There's an existing driveway at this location that meets all of Benton County's requirements. It happened back in 2006 when the new house was being built. Randy mentioned it in his report, like he always does. He speaks to not only now, but what it might be like out in the winter. And he said that he knew that the folks had lived there a long time and they were used to what the winter weather was like out there. He didn't see any problems with it. There's an existing well on this property. The new building could be connected to that. As far as septic system, I already mentioned it needs a septic system. We have not looked that over yet due to the fact that this needed to be approved, had not been approved, we haven't done septic system review, but if we would approve it, we certainly will be trying to determine the best location for that, working with Terrell and the septic contractor. That particular soil type, I don't anticipate any problems with it. On the other hand, that's part of the reason why we do the review, is to see what we can and cannot do there. This acreage is surrounded by farmland. There's other rural residences, if you guys are aware, out in this particular area, scattered up and down, going all the way beginning east of Urbana and out to this particular location. We notified 6 adjacent property owners of the hearing today. Of course, we placed legal notices in all 3 of Benton County's official newspapers as required. We did not hear any comments prior to today's hearing, and no one has showed up today. I don't see that the addition of this could cause any problems with any farming operations in the area or anything else for that matter. One of the things that you notice when you pull into the property is that it you almost don't even know that there's any residence or anything there. From the road, when you pull into the driveway, it's completely shielded with trees. You can't even see it from the road, really. So I don't anticipate there being any problems with our land use policy or with it being compatible. Terrell, did I leave anything out that you might want to tell the board?
I just have a couple questions. And it don't upset me, I just want to know the reason behind it. When we bought this land, we took 2 acres out and put it in residential. This building is in that 2 acres. I don't see why I have to take out another acre. That really increases my taxes. I pay more on that 2 acres of land on my resident than I do everything else, all the other land. And I don't see, well, as long as this building's on that 2 acres, I just need to know the purpose of why I gotta take out another acre. It's just, I think it's a fair question, you know. If you tell me I have to, I have to, but I'd just like to know the reason and why.
Fair question. The reasonable answer to it is what I described to you on the telephone when we talked about this the very first day, is that when you applied for a land use change before, you applied to build a home, a single family dwelling on that particular parcel. And so now, based on our conversation, the way you explained it to me, you are going to be adding this building, which would contain living quarters within it. We talked about that at length, whether there's going to be anybody in there. With it being living quarters, it constitutes a new non-agricultural use, and therefore it has to be reviewed and approved. The reason for the acre is that our sewage treatment ordinance requires that you have an acre. As far as it being within the same 2 acres, we never, our land use ordinances never required that anyone survey that 2 acres out. It was just given to you for approval for a single family dwelling. And so now that we're adding this, it does require Board of Supervisor approval. As far as your taxes and whatever, I can't answer that question.
I was just putting that in for the reason why I'm asking the question.
Okay. All right.
You know, it don't matter to me if it was all 7 acres residential. I wouldn't care, but tax-wise, I do. So, so that 2 acres I got is locked in stone, and I cannot change that 2 acres that I spent. I'm getting by with 1 acre now on this. It's okay. It does have living quarters in it, so I guess we're gonna have to classify it as that. I got sisters and brothers that live out of state. They might stay there. There's not gonna be a full-time residency, but as Mark explained, it possibly could be. So I'm willing to go with this, you know, because it could be. You know, who's to say I sell the place, the person don't, when he buys it, he rents it out. You know, okay, I can understand all that. But why does it take, I had to take 2 out for the original one and add another one? Could I split that one in the house to 1 acre and split the other one over to another acre? I mean, you just tell me yes or no and I'll shut up. I mean,
To back up into 2006, when you applied for 2 acres, I think that was just from the standpoint of what it was that you may use other than what you were doing with the rest of the property. There was no requirement that you had 2 acres. The requirement is that you have at least 1. Now, sometimes people apply for more than 1 because they may want to put up a building that's going to be for their own personal use, something like that, but it obviously doesn't contain a business or a residence, another what would be classified as a new non-ag use. But as far as, again, I'm not sure exactly what your question is or if I'm understanding it, but as far as splitting it or whatnot, I'm not following that.
Okay, so on that 2006 application I really don't remember. I required 2 that I asked
You
for.
applied for 2 acres and you were granted.
Okay,
2 acres.
now is there a way I can reapply for 1?
And is that purely for taxes?
Yeah, is this just all
So the
taxes?
taxes and land use are completely separate. So they will
But they will classify that and they tax me good on that.
probably be a question for the assessor, but my understanding is it's the entire parcel that has 1 tax classification. I don't know.
Your parcel is probably not broke down though between the 2 acres of the
Yes,
res.
ma'am, it is.
You have 2 parcel numbers for your
I have,
your property?
on my tax bill, it shows, my dwelling plus 2 acres.
Okay, cause how many acres do you totally have?
It's 16,
Okay,
2 or
so
something.
that's the reason I'm asking is because what you're asking about is being split between your 1 acre of your house, if I'm understanding correctly, and your 1 acre of the new property, correct?
Correct.
That would be a question that doesn't have anything to do with, what he's doing here. That would be a question to go forward into the assessor. Because, I don't know how that would be split into our GIS program, because then you could have it taxed, broke down to the 1 acre for your new building, and then the 1 acre for your residence. But that, Mark and Matt don't have anything to do with that. That would be in the
Okay.
assessor.
All
So
right.
that doesn't have to do with that.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That is fine.
But, do you know where the assessor's location is at?
I know, I do.
Okay, he's in the courthouse on the 2nd floor, right next to the stairs.
That-
So they would
that
be able
does
to
me
help,
fine.
yeah.
I'm
But
just
then it could be
trying to
broke
save
down
an acre,
specifically how you're requesting it. And I don't know the logistics of that. They would be able to do that or not, but that way they can put,
At least I
your
know the
request there.
explanation.
Yep.
That's,
Mhm.
tax time, I just dread paying that. That 2 acres just feels, don't kill me, but it upsets me that I pay so much for 2 acres.
well, that way you're watching it per parcel, and I get what you're saying for your tax purposes. You're wanting to know, my residential property is this much taxes. This secondary building is this much taxes. That's what you're trying to get
Mhm.
through. And I understand that, but that's where in
Okay.
this sense is irrelevant. So, but we can help you that going down the line.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Gina.
You're welcome.
So this is on the original 2 acre plot, correct? This shed.
Well,
and the rest.
we never really staked that out, the 2 acres.
That's a difficult question to answer because, as I stated, we don't
Right.
survey it out.
Right. Right.
He's feeling that it is. I don't have any way of knowing that it is. It could have, the 2 acres could have, with the original house, could have been moved to the north, for example.
One side or another.
But it's
or-
on his original acres,
Correct.
correct?
I understand that, and so depending on where the leach field is, et cetera, if you wanted to go through the expense of surveying all that out, to have 1 acre with the residence and the leach field, and the shed with 1 acre and the leach field, that would still fall within his 2 acre plot, is that correct? But then that's gonna be expensive getting a survey.
Exactly, and then
And
the other.
taxes, he probably pay a lot of taxes for what that survey would cost.
And then the other thing is that it could end up falling into the arena where it's subject to the subdivision ordinance, and it could get more expensive because then he's got the subdivision ordinance to comply with. He'd have to prepare
It probably
subdivision.
would be easier to keep it in one parcel, to be
I-
honest with you.
I didn't look into all of that
Sure.
because I didn't think this was an issue, but
So
nonetheless.
this
I
could be
get
up to,
But we-
Maybe open up a can of worms and see what we're
Yeah, but it's something
I
that if
just
you
wanted
want
to
to,
know all
it's,
my tax time, you know,
Yes.
just.
it's something that if you wanna go down that avenue, it's worth a question and look at the options available for you.
It's-
To approve, it's just a question at this point.
I'll second
Okay, all in favor of granting the land use change for Carol Price?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know if it matters any difference. Just to say, I'm getting towards retirement age. And if I did start a small company in there, do I have to apply for a different land use?
Because then you're changing the land use from residential to
To a
commercial.
commercial,
Mhm.
okay. Okay.
So that would be this all over again, so,
Okay.
yep.
So looking at that, so.
Yeah.
All right.
If you do need help with the assessor's office, we are right next door, so we can look at it on a plat map, what they were talking about, you know, with subdivisions.
Who would I
and
be
stuff.
getting a hold of over there?
Larry Andreessen is the assessor, but anybody, I believe, in the office would be able to help you.
All right.
So, and like I said, we're right next door, so if you need any help, we're accessible as well.
All right.
Very good.
May I be excused then? I got you back to work. All right, thank you guys very much.
This signifies that you were approved to the Carol. That's your
Okay,
first
well,
vote.
we've got money from-
That's all the information for Rick
You
Freeman.
know, like your meeting out there. We've seen a lot of interest in early retirement.
That would be the HR, so you don't know.
I need to meet with this, and you can be there at the same time, that'd be perfect. You need to meet with them, and learn what to do, what's called 6 foot swell profile, and see whether or not we actually can do that. So we have to certainly did by that whole, and so then if indeed, we're gonna try to do every trenches.
Can you hear that?
I just knew that's why I moved. I used to sit over there.
So, but.
Giving you a tough time, wondering if you filled out your paperwork for early retirement.
Okay, now.
Ooh, that'd be too early.
And like I said,
I can have a machine up there.
I'd have to pitch you up for personal loan to get by for a while.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, never mind.
But we'll see if we can do that. The idea is
Hey, Slick.
Okay, guys.
so it'll just be a matter of like.
One agenda item at a time,
like
Air conditioner.
Well, contact that's where you want to work with.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thank you. You bet.
Justin? You want these stamps? Or do you want us to define them? You take them, you define them.
I'll get home and sign it, I'll give it to you.
Oh, she hasn't signed
You
yet.
should be here today.
I got it all going on. Yeah, that from him. Last night.
The what?
A bat. Softball
Oh, okay, that jack that,
player,
Not the wing type.
not the wind though.
the player let go of the bat and
Why? Hurt?
I was thinking I was gonna have to get some x-rays last night, but It's just, for school.
Hopefully it goes away.
My daughter's all concerned.
Was one of your kids?
Well, one of my players, but not one of my kids. It went through a good lesson not to throw your bat.
Hey, you have barbed wire. It hurt.
Where do we get caught?
Tough to put your jeans on. Wear shorts.
Right.
Job description, everybody contacts to people on how to do it.
So he's gonna do, not working, but time period. This one's February, so we didn't have this one reapply, so I just figured.
Look at that.
I just included her, that was last time, but this is.
With regard to courthouse,
No questions on the law enforcement contract?
Already passed, buddy.
What they tell me. What Gina tells me. Yeah, those are both kept small ones.
Yeah. Haven't met with Atkins yet?
I'll call Bruce here shortly.
Okay.
You gonna make it?
No, not hard.
I'm not gonna be able to help you.
Well, I don't have any discussion on this, other than I will ask,
That's it.
well,
Well, there's two parts.
there's discuss and to accept under the discussion part. I presume that you would start in with application procedure, et cetera. As soon as possible. Correct.
For his job.
And I'd make a motion that we approve Rick Gringo's request for retirement carry over his vacation. And all he would like that paid out in his period.
His retirement for minutes purpose is effective when?
Wasn't that September 30th? Memory
Yeah.
serves me correctly there. You're putting it away, Gary.
Yeah, I think it's September 30th.
Yeah. And I think it's traditional that if they have vacation, they get paid out. That's my motion.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor of approving Rick Reynolds' early retirement package?
Aye.
Aye.
And he has done a fantastic job, 47 years.
So you're also wanting to start getting the application
We need to
procedure?
start getting application process. I don't, Rick is the department head, we haven't, do you have an official title, Justin? As assistant? Okay. So, I didn't know. But, you know, we're gonna have to get this, you know,
I can talk to Kirsten afterwards and see, and if you wanna meet with me afterwards too, to see how, because I know like online, what we're having done right now when people apply online is that, the applications go to department head and also to her. But since it involves department head, it shouldn't go to Rick and her, so the applications probably will have to figure out a
They'll probably end
secondary
up more.
person. You wanna have your emails?
as well.
Can, but I mean,
I'd probably go to Kirsten.
that's what I was thinking.
Just only one person then?
Yeah,
I'd
Okay.
make it
I-
simpler.
yeah.
I can talk to her and see if she needs anything from
Yeah.
our office or to help her, because I know she hasn't been shown how to use the website yet, so I can talk to her and see how she wants to get that started.
Then we also have to find out if Justin's interested in the department head position. And if so, what the procedure is for that.
He would
He'd
have
have
to
to-
apply.
I'd assume you would apply,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because then it opens it up for whomever,
Yeah.
so, but I can
Just
talk
in
to
case
her.
Mark wanted to apply, right? Okay.
Yeah,
There we go.
I can talk to Mark, Kirsten after the meeting, so then I can help her get that started or whomever, so.
Okay. Good, all right. Thank you.
Hey, Mark.
See ya, thank you.
Hey, Justin.
Have a good one.
Item 6, obviously, the county attorney's not gonna be here, so.
Have a problem with that, so. I don't know if it's his home. That was my question.
I don't know. I'm an attorney.
I can table it.
I'm just a secretary, I think I was told before.
Well, isn't that within the guidelines? 90%. I mean, the sheriff's office has his first deputy. I think he's either 90 or 95.
85, yeah.
I don't think so.
I
I
think
don't-
the attorneys are different because
They are.
it
Yeah, I
is,
don't know.
85?
the
thought
reason
it was
it's
higher.
different is because some counties have part-time employees and so they can go go off of, different setting.
Yeah, I think there's, and I don't know this for a fact, but I think there's, guidelines as per that. This just didn't come out of the thin air.
See, I don't know, that's why I was hoping.
Yeah.
That you know something more, a lot more than I do on this, 'cause I always thought.
I don't know a lot more.
100%, and then it was 85%, and then it's 75%.
No.
No. Like, I'm a deputy,
Mm-hmm.
I can only get 85% as an auditor. I know for a fact that the attorney's office is different, I don't know about the sheriff's office. But there's no steps, like you said, when I was first made deputy, I wasn't set at one percentage and then gradually moved up, that is on the per department head. They set those
Right.
percentages. If they wanted them at 40%, that's up to that department head. But there's no stepping stone guideline. It doesn't go from 55, 65, 75, 85. That's
Okay, see,
completely.
I thought there was.
No, there's
No,
not. That's
no.
completely up to the department head.
And we went through that, for example, with the treasurer's office,
Mhm.
And that elected official sets those parameters.
I think there is parameters, I could be wrong on this, that only so many can be put at that highest percentage.
Right.
I think there is, and I don't know how many that is, I wanna say 2, but I could be wrong on that. I believe that's a guideline, cause you can't make, treasurer's office is a perfect example, because all of them are deputies now. She couldn't make all of them at 85%. Only so many, and I wanna say 2, but I could be wrong in that, I'm not 100% on the legality of that.
It really boils down to, the department head and their decision, in my opinion of it. And if John Q. Public doesn't like that, they show it at the polls. But that doesn't change what's happened. It only changes that elected official.
Well, not necessarily, because if Haley wouldn't get reelected, the new auditor wouldn't have to appoint me as a deputy.
Could.
They could adjust that.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, that's right.
I could be any deputy could be without a job, because they're that person's deputy.
I just table it.
But it says effective immediately,
Well,
and so if,
next week's immediately.
no,
I think he ought to be here if we're gonna.
he's in schooling,
I
Well,
do
there's
think you
school.
are correct.
continuing
The
education.
attorney's office is different because of the part-time, and I believe we've had other assistant attorneys put at 90%.
Yeah, I don't know, that's why I was just asking.
I can't cite code sections or anything for you, I'm just saying, I
See, that's why
know
I thought it was in the
specifically.
handbook, and then-
No, because it is a code section, it is a specific code section, but I'm not an attorney, so I don't know that I can't cite that.
It
for you.
really boils down to the department head's prerogative.
And it's coming out of his budget anyway.
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
I'll second it then. All in favor of granting pay increase for Tim Dilly, county attorney, assistant county attorney?
Correct. Aye.
Aye.
I'm not gonna vote because I don't have all the information that I need.
Well, then throw in a nay vote. It's, you got no reason to abstain, you're not, you,
We gotta sign it.
You're-
Initial or anything?
It literally just says acknowledge, it's not really approving, you're acknowledging it.
I'm gonna say even if you voted no, you're still gonna get it.
so we probably didn't even have to vote on it.
That's why I look at it, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of
You're
an
so-
acknowledgement.
We did, it's there.
Yeah.
It'll work.
All right, got 3 applications for the VA. I don't think they'll probably be in for it, right?
I don't believe so. Well, yeah,
Our meeting
because
was at 9.
The applications were to be done by June 11th. I don't remember when we posted it for that.
You can look them over, you put towards the last item on our agenda if you want, because it's not a timed item.
Okay,
I
But
can
look them
try
over.
to,
I already did, you guys look them over.
I can try to text her if you want.
Just see if she's gonna come in and she's got a recommendation.
Well,
Because, Kirk did not reapply when we did the application process. So his application is in there from the beginning of the year.
Okay.
It was, and it's dated February 11th. So if you're looking at your time period, I don't know if he's still interested. I have not
If
much
there's
to
an
do.
application, we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, because since he didn't reapply, I don't know. This is just, we included his old application.
but you were actually looking for a female.
You need gender balance if you're that was, I guess, your guys' question, is you were deciding 3 to 5. I believe you have 2 female applicants.
Yeah.
So, but that's where I'm saying, like, Kirk didn't reapply technically, so I don't know if he's still interested or not. I don't know if anybody's spoken to him. And I don't know, he may be at the meeting today, I'm not sure. He wasn't last month, I know.
He's in here.
That's what I'm saying, that is his February application, it's
Oh.
not his June, he didn't reapply in June.
Okay.
But if you were putting him in consideration to reappoint, but if you did that, you'd have to, I would assume go to 5, because you need gender balance.
Is there an election this year?
Yes, you have an election every year. It's a state school election, November 2nd.
You guys already working at that?
Someone, I mean, you can't do nomination papers or anything like that until August, but there's always, with all the election law changes, yeah, we're still in process, or already in process of it, yeah, gonna be an interesting year with all the law changes.
Any reports? Are you gonna hold off on this, or do you wanna act?
I think we could act on it. I got my opinion, what I think we could.
Okay. In looking at this, due to gender balancing, and on the 2 female side here, one has experience with the department, one is not, one's veteran, one is not.
They're both better,
I didn't see,
they are both better.
is she?
Yep.
Catch that.
Courtney's a better.
I apologize, okay, I didn't see that.
I think that's a requirement,
It
isn't
is a requirement, both are better.
Okay. Well, with Courtney being out of the new hall area, that also gives us some diversity in the county. I make the recommendation of Courtney. I'll make a motion that we approve.
Second.
All in favor of approving first one, so fair for it?
Aye.
Aye.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, like, didn't she put in here something about leaving? Or, cause she's already part of the. She's talking about something. I'm not sure number. Okay.
I had contemplated last night.
I'm supposed to give you our condolences. Are we to give you condolences, like we're sorry to hear that?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Good, summer business, they are fully staffed.
Good.
They hired a new, naturalist. Her name is Faith Hendricks, Buffalo. She's gonna help out too. Evidently, she's gonna end up living down to Fairfax. And her fiance is employed in Iowa City, so they live in Fairfax here. They are fully staffed, no problem so far. And as for the Hart property, they're down to $70,638 to pay it off. Now, we got 2 grants to come in. A grant for $15,000 and another grant for $43,000. When that all comes in, they'll still have a balance of $12,700. They got it down there where it's. Also last week, we got $25,000 anonymous donor. So that lender is using that money to actually help pay that $12,700. That way it's $160 to pay off. Questions about how do we spend that $12,200. So they were thinking about maybe buying more ground. I kind of threw my 2 cents in. I thought they should build maybe a cabin for the church. Makes sense. I thought so too.
But I mean, I don't know, put a cap on $12,000.
I mean, another way, once it's done, bringing money in, it's end up costing money.
Costing money to maintain.
Yeah. So that was well received last night. COVID cap that, is ready to be. He's a guy from the port anyway. He's got the roof done, and now they're on the inside of it, putting all the new sheets on the ceilings and all that, and getting it back up. And they're hoping and shooting with fingers crossed, they might get them all back together by this end of this week. So they'll be back on the market. That's all $78,000 fiscal year. We'll use that cabin. What's happened with that?
Whatever happened with, buildings and like.
Okay, the same guy is getting in charge. He's, I get where he's coming from. He's from big business. So he's making actually like a material list and job description and steps, kind of a contract they're going to send out about what they want done, how they want to build and everything.
You're gonna build something.
Yeah. I don't believe it'll be this year because, the price of materials up, purple. And they just bought a new skid loader for that's supposed to get delivered before the end of the month anyway. What should have got the bill out? Oh. Yeah.
I oversee it, yeah.
What about the road going down to the farm?
Not so weird now. That there, right there.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Myers said, they're gonna redo that road down to that contractor up Cedar Rapids is supposed to do.
Yeah. And it'll work out patches.
When's he gonna do that?
He hasn't told me. I was thinking about that this morning when we were driving out of town. So, last night. Last Tuesday, the toured that the resolution around the Blairstown Bridge project, paper form that I had with you last Tuesday, and that was the final one. I heard that. That resolution there, so I have a copy of it on my end.
So,
You want one still too or not? Thoughts?
Get signs up too.
Yeah. Come up there.
Say 75% of the people can read.
Teresa Hagan said thank you.
I'm down there 2 days. I was down there Thursday and I was down there Friday. Thursday I was really happy. Friday we needed some change.
Well, that's not what I picked up Friday. I picked something up in the sidewall on one tire.
I'm, getting a lot of that stuff. Shingle nails. And I think what it's coming from is people don't have the, Bactite on their,
Tailgate or something.
going down to the dump.
Well, the ground's so hard now, so once it's on top of the ground, you're gonna pick it up.
Sure, thank you. Only both of these of you, because I think Haley was
I've already had, let's see,
here last week, wasn't she?
I was gonna say, do you want
5
her to
flat
sign
tires.
up on
Probably, that's why I just thought I would just leave them with you and.
that? Okay, cause she's not gonna be back until Monday.
It's fine. I'm not gonna be here next Tuesday, so we'll figure that out. But yeah, since she was the one here last week, I guess I.
It ain't so
leave
bad
that
if
in
it's-
your hands. And
Yeah, I mean,
if I can trust you, if I can't, then I'll take them with me and I'll bring them in sometime next week.
I mean, I can sign as a deputy, but I wasn't there for the meeting, so I shouldn't have, so.
No, I just keep them for my record. And it'll be in the minutes book too.
So does that need to be
Yes.
changed for the minutes then?
No, she got the updated one later that day.
Okay,
So it's correct, it's gonna be in the minutes book correctly, I just like to have a paper copy.
just like bridge replacements is correct in the minutes?
Yes. Depends on
Which one you're looking at?
which software you're using to spell check. Interstate Power and Light wants to bore under 11th Avenue Drive down Iowa Township, in section 8. About a half mile, I think it's 7517 is the address of their boring power line underneath the road. Minimal impact on the roadway, should be a problem, so. recommend it.
So moved.
And seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bring notary stamp.
On it.
That's it. Bridge to be replaced with a box culvert. You guys signed the title sheet for the plans here a week ago, 2 weeks ago, on the north side. Let's do south side first, since that's all I grabbed. Is owned by Larry and Susan Weir. The liens on that box culvert, we actually need, let me see here, 1/20th of an acre for permanent easement, and 1/1800th of an acre for a temporary easement. Total payment to Larry and Susan Weir, $408. I have purchase agreement here. Give approval for the chair to sign.
Make a motion that we authorize the chair to sign that purchase agreement for permanent and temporary easements.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Easy one on top. Mm-hmm. And on the north side of that box, that property is owned by David and Rhonda Reinhardt. Very similar, 1/20th of an acre for permanent easement. Need a little bit more temporary easement with the shaping on that side, 3,700 per acre. Temporary easement, so the total payment will be for $522.
Motion.
And second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Here, put my name here on it, so I text Alicia and Courtney to see. I think they're just 3 years, aren't they?
I believe so. I think that's how Ted's works. Had one at one time.
Let it lapse.
Yeah, let it lapse and didn't renew it. What rare times I use it, I probably don't use it.
Okay, I don't use it that often, but I didn't. It's my 2020.
Okay, is the deadline to submit all of the final paperwork for that project was September when, so it's going to be September 21st DOT late. More than likely that contractor won't do anything until spring of 2022. I had a phone call, I was told you weren't investigated, Joneses. Up by, Elder. You know how bad the road or ditch is, and they wanna put a fence in.
Never went and investigated.
Do you have it?
I didn't know anything about it.
Have you been up there and looked at it or anything? Okay. Wasn't getting, wasn't putting the first name to things. And I didn't know he owned it, I thought he had owned it.
they wanna put a fence in, and of course, the bank keeps sliding down, I guess, and I haven't been up there, I have told him I haven't been up there since December, so.
Based on how some of that is left off, I had sketched up a plan at one point, and then I can't find my sketch right now. I thought we had staked it out. I know we had staked a fence line out once, and it's left some more, so that wasn't gonna work. And, based on what we think will work, came up with a sketch, and like I said, I was trying to find it, because, there was one point Ben was gonna go out and stake that sketch out last year at one point, and, the day he went to go out and do it, our survey equipment all had dead batteries on it, so we were recharging things, and then haven't had a chance to be back out there, but I know that Ben wants to take that out of the federal program and start using it for pasture. And before he does that, he wants to get a fence built.
Right, right. It's his obligation to put the fence in, right? It's not the county. Or is it the county?
I think that in conjunction with that purchase of that land, that we gave them a monetary amount for a fence, because he wanted to put it in up himself or select the builder specifically. It was my recollection. Some of that out there we had, hired somebody to do it, others took a monetary payment and just were either gonna do it themselves or hire somebody to do it, depending on how their schedule all worked out. I guess the last positive we paid him for a fence, but Ben was talking about doing it himself at one time.
That's right, south of John Kessler.
Being north.
South of John.
Yeah,
South and east.
John.
John's on the north side of the road. I think
Yeah.
John's is where the culvert part of the tile is exposed. Have you ever looked at that?
Yeah, well, I haven't, Randy had told me that was, a drain, seepage tile that we put in the road. We had a soft spot, and, we fixed that soft spot because we had that up there north side. We ran a tile line at the low point out from it to the ditch, and so that's all that is, exposed tile line.
Okay. That hasn't been filled in yet either.
I don't think so.
I haven't been up there.
Mhm.
I don't.
So what does he, I can go up there and look, or I can go talk to him.
Jones,
Yeah,
what it's, you know, they dug the ditch up, take that curve out of the road,
yeah.
put no sense in and sloughed off.
Sucked off once or twice.
Yeah.
So first was built, he did the same thing he did in front of John Castor, probably.
Yeah.
John, which is basically what we proposed. Propose a property line, fence line that was part of that slope for that purchase. Minimal action is necessary to do that. Sloppy.
I don't think it's paid to put like back, put the carrots in.
It didn't work before.
Yeah.
Tried that at Ben Jones's.
Yeah.
And that terrace swept off. That was how we built that initially.
I had a couple of phone calls from father and son running up here. Discuss it.
I don't know that there's nothing.
Clay. Clay.
Well,
Most of it was
replaced your, I believe, silt fence. Working, let's see, right. They're looking for a run a tile line. From the Castle property.
Again, next, immediately, take it from
But yeah, well, they have to schedule that federal program. Probably.
I think so too. Okay. All right, thanks, Myron.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sure.
No. As per county attorney, health issues, closed session.
What's that?
County attorney is in school today, continuing education class. And he sent me a text as I was coming in. And thought that you might be tabling whatever you're discussing today. And was very adamant that this is not a closed session agenda item.
Okay, well, whatever he said, I'm not taking.
And he said he would be more than willing to call in if there was questions on that.
No, I'm not tabling anything, so. Just wanted to let you guys know that I will be leaving Benton County at the end of this month, or after this month, after the 4th of holiday, for a new job. And county handbook policy says minimal notice upon separation. So, I do have unused vacation time, must be paid out on the separation. And I wanted to do that to make sure I was in compliance with, again, the HR lady told me to wait until next week, but they'll only do 13 days. So, I want to give you guys enough, as much notice as I could. I will be offering myself to some limited extent to help in any way I can finishing out the project. But I've been working with the engineering company. They'll be taking over all the field work, construction management after I'm done. So that's pretty much all ready to go and taken care of. They're already hired on as a consultant in the county for 7 years, so should not be an issue there. As far as any new projects that may come on, I would help with you. But wanted to let you know that I will be leaving after this month. And if there's any discussion that we have, I know I talked to Tracy about it. I will be able to be available for the emergencies until start the chapter. So, nothing against the county or the program. So that's interesting. Myself and family, obviously the program ends in December. I can't just not have a job and benefits and all that kind of stuff. So moving on, and like I said, I'll help what I can. And I don't know HR lady is going to look into as far as if I do need my assistance with whatever, I'll be pushed down to part-time employee in the contract or something, she was looking for what that might be. So I don't know the answer to that yet. I guess we'll find out more when she get talked to the state office, see what can be done as far as the grant goes. But we are looking into it. Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that. And then on here, I guess June 2nd, or July 2nd, it's a Friday.
On your last official day that you're actually boots on the ground here in the county.
Friday, July 2nd would be the last official day. So,
You're not,
so I do have my personal day. I don't know if that, I don't know if I can use that or not. It says you can't use vacation time for the last 2 weeks. So, it doesn't say anything about the personal day. It says vacation, so, if I have to use it, I'll do it.
and then, firm now.
What was
will take over your position now?
Yeah, so WHKS, the engineering company that we hired years ago, they have a field conservation staff and engineering support.
And that's no extra burden on the county?
There'll be an expense to their service, but that'd be in lieu of me, so, and it's all paid for by them, so it's all, it's not gonna be financial to the county, that means here. We'll have to figure out how to submit bills and how to take care of that. I think we'll probably just have everything sent to the governor's office. For billing,
Which there'll be contact information as well.
Yeah.
Along with that.
yeah, so typically I've been signing off on invoices and pay requests for projects. Engineering company will take care of that, verify works before submitting it. I don't know who previously, before you guys made me have the ability to sign off, it was just, I think you guys or Haley signed off on all those previously, so whatever needs to be done there, but like I said, I'll help in whatever capacity I can as far as getting that figured out with the contractors and with the engineer and then with the county as well. But as far as an additional burden, there shouldn't be any issue for any other staff.
Going forth, it'll at least clear up the items that we have in the works.
You mentioned the 4th of July holiday, so if your last day is on July 2nd with the county, you work that out with HR, because are you wanting, you said you're working through July 4th holiday.
Well,
But then the
I guess
last day
that
is July
technically that's,
2nd.
yeah, it's the second. I start my new job after the 4th holiday, so July 4th on a Sunday. So the Friday the 2nd would be my official last day of the county. So.
Well, just making sure you got that worked out with HR, if you're
Yeah,
to get paid for that holiday.
No, I wouldn't be paid for that.
Okay.
4th of July holiday would be after I would be gone, so. At least I don't anticipate.
We've done an excellent job with this program, and we all knew that it was gonna come to an end.
Yeah.
And I don't know that any of us expected you to be here right up to December 31st.
If there was more money coming, I would, but
Yeah, I get
if
that.
I was a single person, I would probably do that, but
Yes.
can't do that anymore.
And I have to ask, there's no contract or anything of that nature. I mean, you've gone all the through HR, she's reviewed the contract, or at least reviewing,
What
I presume.
contract was what?
Was there an employment contract for this?
I never signed it.
I didn't.
No, I was just hired
I
on
didn't
as a.
recall it. I know that we had this time frame, to utilize these funds, but.
I never signed a contract.
Yeah.
I was just hired as an employee of the county, so.
Mhm. Okay.
As far as I'm aware, there's no stipulations on that, so.
Didn't want to come up with something at the last minute that had a shoestring attached.
If there was a contract, it was never given to me, so.
Not everybody has employee contracts.
Yeah, no, I was hired just as a regular full-time employee when Todd was the chair. So.
How's this gonna affect the WMA Association in Wallace County?
Me leaving? Like,
Yeah.
theoretically, it shouldn't, but that'll be up to the.
You usually ran all the meetings.
I know. So I think ECCOG will probably take over that in the near future, immediate future.
Jennifer,
'Cause
then I
it's-
suppose.
What's that?
Jennifer.
Yeah, so until they figure out someone else to, maybe, Meredith Stevenson at Cedar Rapids, she's really good with that too, so.
I would imagine that the engineering firm would attend those meetings to give updates as well.
Yeah, they could, and I've talked with him about that as well, so. Typically, we just give written updates, but with the WMA request, additional information be made available.
No, that's easy. Cause they're having a meeting coming up here, ain't they, in June
July 8th,
or July?
July 8th, yeah, so the week after I leave, so I haven't talked to Jennifer about how that's gonna be handled, so.
Well,
see.
I think you've done an excellent job with this program.
Maybe,
There's been a lot of good things happen with it. Unfortunately, it came to an end.
usually happens with any type of government funding. So,
Well, and
especially federal funding.
it was no surprise to you, obviously.
No, I've been doing this type of work for about a decade now, so it's just reality. I know there's a lot of people pushing for more money, that, you know, it's the roll of the dice if that'll actually happen. Yep, so, but nope, I've had a lot of success in the past 2 years. Built a lot of really good projects, and got a few more that'll be built this year that are quite large. Just started the Benton project here on Friday. Already getting complaints about that, so. Not some residential complaints, which not my department, so I don't really worry about it, but, yep, like I said, I think everything's in place to be a pretty smooth, construction season. Obviously, there's always miscellaneous questions that come up on site, but the guy that helps me through the engineering company, he's really well versed in how I like things done. And
That's the guy that I met.
Don. Yep, Don Canopsy is his name. But yeah, he's been to several of the construction meetings you were at, Tracy. He's the one that'll probably take over about everything that I would be doing out on the construction site. So
Okay.
I don't know if he'll be out every day or not. Maybe not. I don't know. It kind of depends on the contractors we have working now.
Would he be using your office yet after you're gone?
I don't know. That's maybe up for you guys to decide.
Or like the computer in there, is that the county's computer?
Yeah, so all my office equipment is county. It was purchased by the grant
Yeah.
for this position. So all that stuff can stay here. I do have a desk and a table, a stand-up desk table in my house for my home office that we started during COVID. So I can bring that back, or if I have the opportunity to purchase it from the county, I'd be interested in that too. Or the computer, that'd be nice to, if that's a possibility. I don't know, that'd be your guys' decision. So all the files that I have are on the Benton County cloud site. So that's where, since Ben started that, I don't know, a year ago, the OneDrive, he switched cloud services from an online form to more of a higher database thing here about a year ago. So all the work that I do is saved on that and accessible by.
ECCOG, you're familiar with Jennifer, and you've met this Don Canopsy. Okay, if you get a phone number, I'd recommend that maybe you work things out with those two as to what to do with the equipment.
Well, Don works for the engineering company, so he doesn't work with Jennifer.
Correct, correct. But whether or not the engineering company is actually gonna need access to the room and
I would think they would.
I'm guessing no. He usually
Yeah.
does all that stuff.
That was a question he was asking.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, if it's something you want to make available to him, I'm sure he'd be open to it, but
You
You have cell phone and iPad as well?
Yeah.
That the county purchased?
Yeah, so that's all part of the grant funded.
Okay, now that's all have to be turned in by Friday.
Yeah. Yep, unless you want me,
Unless he's able to purchase it,
Okay,
but that's
yeah.
what I.
unless you want me to keep my phone for the time being in case there's questions or something from landowners or whatnot. That, I haven't figured out a good plan for that yet.
Discuss the desk. You said you have a desk
There's
and
a
a
desk and
laptop
a-
at home?
So there's my laptop, which is in my bag, then I have a stand-up desk and a table, which I've got for COVID stuff for office setup, because ECOG was closed for like a year and a half. And then I also have a stand-up desk here, but I'm not moving that.
So you just have to figure out, you'd have to talk to Ben, I don't know how that
That's
all
what I was
works out.
gonna say.
Yeah, I don't know how inventory, it's all.
No, you got a
Is it all-
laptop?
What's that?
You just got a laptop in at home?
Well, it's in my bag.
Yeah, I know,
It's
but
a
I mean,
docking
that's what you took
station.
it home.
Yeah, I have a docking station, same as I have here,
Okay,
set up in the house.
Because that's put all into our financial system as an inventory. And
Yeah.
that might be something you have to talk to your the auditors about too, because you put that in the fixed assets and stuff like that, so. I don't know if that's as easy as just someone buying it from the county or not, and, you know, with Ben, you'd really wanna talk to your IT department on that, because it's not as
Yeah,
simple
if
as, you know, so.
You would have to take things off my computer as far as permissions and access. and all that
Well,
stuff.
I'm just saying, Ben might have different requirements for that kind of stuff, so it's not as black.
The only thing would be is if, you see a need to keep, if Jennifer or Don, Jennifer with ECOG and Don at the engineering company, see, you know, him coming on as a part-time, then he would need that stuff. So I think there's some questions yet to be answered. So,
We can inform Ben and let him know
Right.
and
Yeah,
get him
and-
started on that.
give me Don's cell phone number. Don't do it now.
Alright,
You don't have to.
yeah, no, that's fine, I can give it to you. He's very responsive, so
Good.
I get a hold of him a couple times a week. Pretty easy.
Okay. I'll just lay the question on him, that'll help.
Yeah, but like I said, I wanted to give you guys enough notice. Because there's obviously some questions that have to be answered, and I have to give a formal written statement to the auditor's office.
Does that just go to HR now?
County policy said to give it to the auditor's office, so unless that would have to be updated, but I
Yeah.
assume.
Since that's the policy, since it has been updated to inform HR, I guess
right,
we'll include
she's,
her.
that's part of her duties is to go through that.
Yeah, we'll give it to her as well, so.
I'll probably be given a written statement this week
Okay.
sometime. But
Well, thank you.
I'll be around for a little while yet, so.
Yeah.
Like I said, if any of you guys wanna go see some project sites, we got all sorts of good stuff around here in Benton County you can look at, so. That's all I got, so I'll do some checking with Dan on IT stuff and inventory equipment.
I'd like to see Allison Hicks' project sometime.
Done. Well, they're finishing, there's a cattle crossing in the building today, but the dam's done. It's finished it last week, so. Come take a peek, there's no water in it, but the dam's done. It's big. We have drained our drawdown valve in all of our ponds, so we can keep them dry during construction, so we haven't closed it yet. So there's a little pool that's a couple of tables wide. It's always been. Other than that, you can see, it's a big structure. I'll be heading out there this. That's where I'll be.
I'll catch you before you leave.
Yeah, I think I'm the last person on the last item. So.
I think it's been a real asset for you here. Sorry to see you go.
Yeah, it's been a good experience. All in all, every job has a little bit of downside. Can't think of anything else. Part of this job, so. Definitely very rewarding. Met a lot of good people, and got a lot of really good things done. Haven't been done before in the city. So. we'll see if it continues, I guess, in the future. But, we got a lot of examples to show for why you should want it in the county. That's something to look at. Still think. A lot of people will support you. I can guarantee you that. So.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Adam.
Thank you, sir. Anything else, sir?
No, take care. Gary, you have an annual report. Motion to quit.
Yeah.